Hey there folks. So in this video what we're going to be doing is expanding the pickups that we've already been building, and instead of just having health pickups that use apply damage, we're going to build a range of coin pickups. And to do this, to make this work, what we're going to look at using is an interface. We're going to use an interface to pass a message so that rather than having to say, hey, what's this character actually playing as, we're just going to pass a message to them to say pick up some coins. And as I walk around, you can see I've got different types of coins here, single coins and bag of coins with different values. And what they're doing is they're passing a message to my character to tell them that they should collect some coins. And that's going to give me a lot of control then to start making my own different variations of those coin pickups. And also hopefully it's going to give you a little bit more understanding of how can I use interfaces for a more kind of agnostic communication between different blueprint characters without having to use casting and directly referencing things. Okay, so to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to look at setting up the interface that's going to allow us to talk to our character. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get to my blueprints folder, and right now you can see I've got a folder for characters, controllers, the mode, any dynamic world actors that I'm placing in my scene, like the moving platforms and the pickups and things. I'm going to create a new folder in here, and this is going to be for my interfaces. And these are going to be our method, remember, of how we can kind of talk to any of these actors, have like an agnostic conversation with them, pass messages to them without knowing necessarily what they are, without having to cast and specify and convert them. So here I'm going to go in, I'm going to right click, and you'll find your blueprint interfaces are going to be under the blueprint section under blueprint interface. I like to call mine BPI, so blueprint interface. And just for the purposes of this tutorial, just to keep things a bit generic, you might want to section these off into more kind of thematic versions later. I'm just going to call this one pickups. And then because obviously I'm making a whole bunch of pickups, I'm making ammo pickups, health pickups, coin pickups and stuff like that. I'm going to have all of those events and all those interface functions all contained in here. It might be that later you have an interface that relates specifically to health, and another one that's specifically for weapons and equipment, and another one that's for currency and money and gold, in which case just section all these different functions that we're going to do into their different interfaces instead. So here we'll start with BPI underscore pickups, and if I open this up, you'll see that I've now got this function. It's asking me what the name is going to be of that one, and I'm going to go with, and I like to just put I underscore here, just because, you know, it's in the interface. I could put BPI, but it's not actually the blueprint interface, it's just the interface function. So I like to put the I underscore just to help me when I'm looking through and searching for these events. I can use it as a filtering method for finding the names. And we'll go with this one. We'll say give coins, or, you know, send coins, get coins, yeah. And with that give coins, you can see here, it's obviously going to give me a function. I can't do any functionality in here because what this is it's just a thing that we can kind of, you know, add to all these different actors and just say, are you able to get coins? Can I give you coins? If I can, then obviously you should implement this function. You should implement this interface and you'll have the ability to implement and do this. And if not, then you don't do it. And then that means if I get a reference to the actor and say, I'm going to give you coins, if you don't implement the interface, then you won't do anything. You'll just ignore that kind of function call. Now, we can also add inputs to this. So I can say, not only do I want to call the function, but I want to pass some functionality and some values and variables through that. So let's just go and add ourselves a thing here. And we're going to go with coins to add. I'm going to add this as an integer because I'm just going to add whole numbers, but go and have a look at obviously your own currency in your game. Is your currency in the game going to be decimal point values, in which case maybe you want to use floats for this one. If you're using floats for your amount to add in your pickup, then use floats here to save lots of truncating or issues where you go from float to integer to float. So here, my coins are just going to be a whole number. It's a very simple platform style game, so I'm just going to go with a full integer. So you can see here, I define that and I save it. I don't do any functionality in here because I can't. It's read only. I now need to go and apply this into other stuff. So let's go back to my base pickup and let's think about what's happening here. Well, I overlap the base pickup. I run the pickup effect. The pickup effect tells it to run with the, you know, get the name and print that out. And I've left these open here. We've got the base health pickups, the apple, which has different values. The banana has different values, a bunch of bananas. all they are doing, if we just keep on jumping back those steps, they're just using the apply damage node to use the amount to add to heal me. But what about if I wanted something different? What about if I wanted to give my player some coins? Well, I couldn't make a variation of base health because base health is healing me. I don't want coins to heal me. Health and coins are two different resources, two different things I'm tracking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my content browser. I'm going to find my pickups folder. And let's look at this different chain here. This is obviously my health and the things that inherit from that. And here I've got my base pickup. To make it easier, what you might want to do is start putting some folders in here. Maybe have a folder that I tend to have a folder that's just called base. And I put all the base things in there so that I don't go and accidentally add those to the level. The things that are here are the things I add into the level. And these are the base ones where all the functionality exists. So I'm obviously not going to inherit from base health. Base health applies damage. So I'll go all the way back to the base pickup. I'll right click this. I'll create a new child blueprint class. We'll call this one BP underscore and we'll go with pickup. So it fits in with the naming convention of what I've got in the other one. But this one is going to be, let's go base coins, base currency, whatever you want it to be. Obviously it looks like a cube. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in there. We're going to change the visual mesh to maybe be a coin instead. Let's just go with the generic blank coin. So I'll go with this one. The scaling's completely off, so maybe we change this to 0.5 and maybe even just 1. We want the whole thing to be a much bigger coin. Let's just check that by dragging one of those into the world. Yeah, that works. That's perfect. So I can go and pick up that coin. Okay, so I've got my base coin. It's visually looking different. It's going to have obviously different functionality. It's not going to heal me because it doesn't inherit from the health pickups. I'm going to get rid of all these nodes here inside the event graph, and now I can start thinking about doing exactly what I did with the health pickup, but in this instance I'm going to do it with the base coin. Well, with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the functions, we're going to override the pickup effect, and we're going to now use that interface that we just did to actually pass a message through. Yeah, so let's just think about this if we didn't use the interface. If we didn't use the interface, we've got an actor here. That actor, if I drag off of this and release this, what about if I had a function inside of my base character for getting coins? In fact, let's, in my character, just to demo this for you, let's add a custom event and we'll just say get coins. Yeah, I'm going to spell it correctly. There you go, get coins. Compile it, save it. Well, why can't I just come over here and go, well, in that actor, let's just run get coins? I can't. Yeah, because this is a generic actor. It's not the base character. That could be where maybe you want to cast and you want to cast to the base character, because if I convert this into base character, I can then get coins and I could call the function get coins, and that could work. That works perfectly fine. But again, what if it's not a base character? What if it's something else? And what if I need to do something different depending on what this is? So maybe when I give coins, when I use this message, maybe I'm getting coins as the character, but maybe I'm spending coins and giving coins to something else, maybe for construction or rewards and pickups. There's lots and lots of different instances where currency and coins would go from one thing in your game and be communicated to another. And that's what that interface is kind of going to be. It's going to be our way of just passing through the coin value from one thing to another, and each of them can choose how they do that. In our character, we're going to just retain that and share that in a variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that interface that we just had. So you can see the interface is called give coins, I underscore give coins. So I can go here and say I underscore give coins, and you'll have this option here that says message. This is where we're going to pass an interface message to something else. If I add this in, you can see here it's got the little letter symbol. So this is great. This tells us that this is passing a message to something else. The target is the thing we're passing the message to. So the thing that we're saying, hey, do you implement this interface? If you do, run your event that's linked to that. And then obviously we've got our coins to add. So how many coins do we want to actually give? Now this needs obviously a reference to my interacting actor. It's just worth noting that obviously I've searched for that there. You can also drag off of the interacting actor because it is an actor. You can say I underscore and give coins, and obviously that just automatically makes that the target. Now, where do we get coins to add from? Well, This is obviously inheriting from the base pickup. In the base pickup, we sent and made a variable called amount to add. So let's get our amount to add and just say, that's what I want to give. Every time you overlap one of these coins, I want it to give me that many coins. And let's just also run remove pickup as well. So once we finish giving the coins, we'll destroy ourselves. We'll remove ourselves so that this pickup is no longer there. We can't just keep on getting the same coin, because you don't want to keep on walking over the same currency coin over and over again. Okay, now this, if I go and press play, let's just go into new editor window and play this. There's my coin over there. I walk in, I pick it up, and it's gone. But it hasn't done anything. Yeah, it has passed a message to my base character, but because the character doesn't actually implement the interface right now, it's passed the message. It's saying, hey, actor that's just overlapped me, I want you to run this interface message. But the interface message doesn't actually do anything in that character. So the last thing we've got to do now to get this working is we've got to go over to this base character. We've got to tell them to use that interface. We've got to tell them to have some kind of event that runs every time this interface message is passed through to them. So let's have a look at that. Rather than this get coins, let's get rid of that one. That was a demo. We want to add the interface. And if you look over on the left-hand side here, we've got graphs, functions, macros, variables, but we don't have a call for interfaces. And the reason for that is because right now my character doesn't implement any interfaces. So go up to the top and you'll see there's class defaults and there's also class settings. And if you click on class settings and look over on the right now, you'll see there's namespaces and interfaces, both inherited interfaces. So you can actually implement an interface in the parent, and then all of the child blueprints will also inherit and use it. Or we can choose to implement new ones. So let's go into there. And because I call mine BPI, it should be quite simple for me to go and find it. So you can see there, BPI pickups. I implement that. Nothing really changes over here. It has actually been added in here, so you can see it does exist. But also in the left hand side now, look, we have an interfaces section, and in there it says give coins. Now I can right click this and I can implement an event. So now you can see this is an interface event because it has the little interface symbol in the top corner of it. You can see where it's coming from. It's coming from our BPI pickups. And actually, if we were in the functions lists of child versions of this, you'd be able to see that this is where this is coming from. So let's just go with a print string. We want to see whether this is running, and you got coins. Yeah, so let's overlap that coin again and see whether it's working. So I go over to the coin, and there we go. You got coins. At no point have I taken this actor here and gone, is it of the type player? Is it definitely the player character? Is it, any of these things? Obviously, I've done that with the overlap and I've filtered so that only player characters can overlap a pickup. But at no point have I had to go and say, what are you? Are you a base character? Am I allowed to run an event in you? I just say, hey, you're a player, have some coins. Yeah. And I use this interface message to pass the amount to add as a value over to them. I'm not even telling them what to do with it. I'm just passing a message to them to run it. And then I remove myself. Okay, so what can I do with this? Well, in our base character, now we can start thinking about tracking this. In the future, you might want to expand this out to have some kind of components. You might want to have inventories and things. But just to keep it simple, just for this demo, let's just go and promote this coins to add as a variable over here. So I'm going to call this coins total. So I'm going to set that to there. Now, that is going to cause us problems because what's actually going to happen is every single time I pick up a coin, it's going to say, okay, let's just set my new total to that. So I'm only ever going to set it to whatever the total coins was that I just got. Now, useful, right click, promote it. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect that. And before we actually get to here, what we're going to do is we're going to say, let's take this coins to add. Let's add it to my coins total and then set that to be the new coins total. So we're just going to make sure that any new ones get added on before they get set into that variable. So if I'm adding 1 and I already had 10, 1 plus 10 becomes 11. And the next time this obviously gets run, I'm going to be adding the 1 to the 11. So it's much better for me to do that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag that into there and we're just going to print it out. In fact, let's just, before we get into there, let's go make this print string a little bit further along. I'm going to go with an append. And I'm just going to add some extra notes into here. So character has total coins and colon, and then we'll add a little space, so we make sure there's a space between it, and then plug in the number. So we're going to append these two strings to each other. So we've got the one that I've just typed and the number value. Okay, so let's go and have a look and see with this. I overlap it, and character has total coins 1. What about if I have a couple of them? Yeah, maybe I have a whole bunch of them because I want to be able to, direct the player. I want to put some pathways that they might want to follow. I might want to put these on an arc to indicate to the player what kind of path they should follow when they're jumping. But you can see there, only of the healing ones, but I've also picked up all of those coins. Okay, now last little thing that we're going to do here is very similar to what we did with the health pickup. I've got one single coin, and the coin works, yeah? But what about if I wanted to have variations of this? So here, I'm going to now create a child of this, and this one's going to be pickup underscore single coin. And I'm just going to take that single coin, and I'm just going to put it into my base pickups folder here. So obviously these are ones that I want to add into my world, because these ones here, I don't really want to use the base pickup. I want to use my base coin, single coin ones for this. So this one here, single coin, just so we know that it's different. Let's go and find a different coin. Let's use the one with maybe the star in it, just so I know that this is different. And remember, I can go with the amount to add. So it's a single coin. Let's add one coin. And that's all I've done. I've changed the visual element. I've changed the amount to add. Well, let's go back in there. Let's duplicate that one. And let's call this, rather than single coin, let's go with bag of coins. And the bag of coins, you guessed it, is going to be a visual mesh, and we'll call it, search for coin. There is a coin bag, there we go. And the amount to add in this one, amount to add, let's go with this one being 10. Yeah, so these are my pickups, my currency pickups. And let's just add in single coin. I'm just going to add one of them, duplicate a couple of those. Maybe they all go around each other a little bit. And in the middle of it, let's add in a bag of coins as well. And that bag of coins, maybe I need to resize the actual coin bag itself, but there you go. We've got a whole bunch of different, I've actually added 2 of those in. But you can see coins 1, 2, but if I pick up the coin bag, I get 10, and it's adding that on. So now I've got a whole bunch of different pickups that I can use specifically for the currency. I'm not actually doing anything with those currency elements yet. I'm just tracking it. But hopefully from that, you can see that we can use an interface to pass a message to this, and we can pass it whatever we want. So in this instance, I'm saying, let's just get coins. I don't know what it is I'm talking to. Obviously, I know personally as the developer, I know that it's the base character, but it could be any character. As long as they've been defined as the player, the overlap event will run for them. And if it does, we use an interface to pass a message to them to say, hey, you have some coins. Yeah. And then obviously now we've got variations of our coins. We can make as many of these as we want. I've obviously made a single coin and a bag of coins, but this could be whatever pickups you want. And it's worth looking at that. When you're looking at games and researching those games, what pickups do you have and what variations of those pickups do you have that do the exact same thing? Maybe you have a pickup that gives you 1 of a value, or 5 or 10 or 50. They're all doing the exact same thing. They're all running the same interface event, but they're just changing the visuals and the amounts. Okay, so this one obviously is how we create some coin pickups. In future, we might expand this out and we might have a look at some other types of pickups as well. Maybe some invulnerability, maybe some ammunitions and things for weapons. But for now, that gives us a health value to track, and it gives us a coin value to track, and it gives us lots of options for those. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to access more of my Unreal Engine content.